The final week of NFL football. Isn't that crazy? Well, I guess not technically. The final week of the NFL regular season, but still, it's
flew
sad.
by, dude.
It always flies by. We sit here in a week, whatever, the final week every single year, and we go, wow, that was fast. There is only 2 time periods on planet Earth, gentlemen. There's football season, there's waiting for football season.
True.
So we're going to take, we're going to really cherish this next month of football because there's not a whole lot left.
No. Not a lot.
But let's talk about this final week. This did determine a lot. So Chiefs-Raiders, pretty simple game.
Yeah.
Chiefs locked this up. I don't think anyone really saw this going any differently, so not too much to talk about here. The only thing I'd say is Jerick McKinnon now has a touchdown in 6 straight games, something like that. Jerick McKinnon has been absolutely going off. He got a receiving touchdown, I believe, in this game. Yep. 2 receptions, 0 yards, and a touchdown.
Okay.
He's just a little touchdown hawk in there, dude.
I guess so.
It's 6 straight games. There's 9 touchdowns in 6 games, something like that. I don't know, but he's been playing awesome, so good for Jerick McKinnon. Nice pickup. He's old, too. Jerick McKinnon's old. He's like 31 or something.
Yeah.
So good for him. Titans-Jaguars, huge game for the Jaguars. This Tennessee Titans team used to be 7-3. 7-3, ladies and gentlemen. 9 games. Yeah, good for him.
What happens? What happens there?
How do you lose 7 straight games?
Yeah,
Well, I could pull out a laundry list of excuses. The only thing is every team has the same excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Some Titans fan is going to sit here and tell me how injured they were. Okay. Every single team gets injured.
Yeah.
Every single team loses key players all of the time. I don't know. It was a really tough go for the Tennessee Titans. I was saying one of the few things I predicted very correctly was that the Titans were such a fraudulent 7-3 team. When they were 7-3, I was like, they're not good. Their record says they're good. They have one of the best records in the league. They're just not. I don't know how they're doing it. And I think, Father Time just kind of caught up to him here. So
Jags, though, in the playoffs. Maybe a quick first round out, but hey, they made it.
Who are they playing? They have to play a really good team. I think they play the Chiefs.
I can kind of see it right here, actually, if I come down here. Chargers.
Oh, no. You know what, dude? I legitimately could see the Jaguars winning this game.
I looked at the line, and it's like -1 or something.
For the Jaguars?
Let me see.
I have the Jaguars winning this game.
It is -1 Chargers.
I have the Jaguars winning this, ladies and gentlemen. You guys will see. We predicted the whole playoffs. We'll show you that later. Especially with quarterbacks. I think it's really unfair to evaluate young quarterbacks in their first year. I think in their second and third year is when you can really start to call them a bust or this or that. Let's not forget that Trevor Lawrence really sucked last year.
Yeah.
I mean, there were Jaguars fans who even said Trevor Lawrence, was a horrible pick. We should have taken someone else. What were we doing? Blah, 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 blah. Trevor Lawrence has been great in the second half of this season. Jaguars didn't start out hot, but guess what? Jaguars were never supposed to be good at all. Jaguars were not supposed to go to the playoffs. The Jaguars, I believe their line at the start of the season was 4.5 wins. So if you went to Vegas and you could bet over or under 4.5 wins to win your money back, and the Jaguars end with 9 wins. Significantly.
You know what they were looking at last year? Were they supposed to be decent last year?
They were horrible last year. Last year's when they had Urban Meyer, though.
I was just going to say, do you think part of the reason Trevor Lawrence was kind of shit last year was the whole Urban Meyer? Maybe
I do.
There was a very toxic locker room, and it's just...
I think Urban Meyer was a huge part of why Trevor Lawrence sucked ass. But also, they don't have that much talent. They did a really good job picking up players. A lot of people criticize them for overpaying on players. I still would criticize them for overpaying on players. They paid Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, and Zay Jones a huge majority of their offensive salary. Not that they have a salary cap for offense, but they poured a lot of money into those 3 guys. I don't think they were worth it, but you know what? Damn it, they made the playoffs, and that's more than I can say for my team.
That's all that matters.
So,
that's all that matters.
Good for them. Browns, Steelers. Steelers get a big dub. Kenny Pickett has been great in the second half of the season. He connected with George Pickens, I believe, for his 1 touchdown. Is that correct? It's 1 receiving touchdown.
Yeah, right there.
Steelers do not make the playoffs, unfortunately, but I think they're building something good. The 9-8 teams, I really like the future of all the 9-8 teams. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Detroit Lions.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, those are the 9-8 teams. I think that, the Steelers are young, and they lost their franchise QB, Ben Roethlisberger, who was with that team for forever. So usually you're going to struggle the year after that, and they actually put together...
Kenny Pickett, they're going to replace Benny? You think he's staying there franchise-ish, or what?
Right now, they're looking at Kenny Pickett as their franchise QB. Yeah. 100%. I don't know if that's it. I kind of think they need to get a new offensive coordinator. Hate to jump on the social media bandwagon of hating Matt Canada, but I just think he's not very good. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. The Browns have a long way to go, though. It'll be interesting to see if Deshaun can get back to Deshaun form, because Deshaun was very, very good on the Texans. Maybe he needs a full season of practice under his belt. Maybe he needs no drama in his life. Who knows? So I am actually rooting for Deshaun Watson. I think the Deshaun Watson situation was really shitty, but I'm not going to judge a man on his worst moment. And I think Deshaun Watson, with a full off season, the Browns at 7-10, they're also in a position to really, really improve this team because they have such a good defense. But it's pitiful. Defense. Like, with the amount of weapons they have on offense, it is pitiful what they do.
How much points they're putting up.
Yes.
Yeah, they should.
I mean, although they are kind of missing a number 1 star wide receiver. But Donovan Peoples-Jones has the makings. We'll see with the Browns. I'm not really sure on them. Ravens-Bengals, 16-27. I got to say... Yeah.
Who's that? I just noticed that. Who's Anthony Brown?
19 for 44. What the fuck?
Wait, what? Ravens third string UDFA.
Well, 19. He threw a lot.
Yeah,
holy shit. They never let Huntley. Well, it's just because they were losing, I guess. 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The Bengals are looking really good going into playoffs.
Yeah.
Bengals are looking really good at going to the playoffs. I think, and the Ravens do make the playoffs. I think this is just a rematch. Don't the Bengals just play the Ravens again? It's literally just a rematch.
Yeah.
So it's literally just a rematch of that game. I think out of the teams that did make the playoffs, I think I'd most want to play the Ravens. Let me look at the teams. I'd most want to play the Ravens. No, or maybe the Buccaneers, but I wouldn't really want to face Tom Brady in the playoffs. Out of this, I'd want to play the Ravens the most. I think the Ravens are the sorriest playoff.
Ravens are the Jags. Supposedly, Lamar might be coming back, even though he's hurt.
Well, that's a good point. If Lamar comes back, I don't want to play Lamar. If Lamar is not back, I'm 100% playing the Ravens.
Do you play Lamar even though he's kind of hurt?
No, I don't. Vikings, Bears. Okay, so this is crazy. Everybody assumes that the Bears are going to get the second pick and the Texans are going to get the first pick. The Vikings beat the Bears. If the Texans beat the Colts, they can go. Lovie Smith knows he's getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
Lovie Smith pulls out all the stops. They throw a Hail Mary. Then he goes for 2 and they get it. And all of a sudden, Lovie Smith fucks over his own team, who's fucking him over because they're about to fire him. So I would have done the same thing. Yep. And all of a sudden, the Texans have the number 2 pick. The Bears have the number 1 pick. The Bears don't want a quarterback. They definitely believe in Justin Fields. So I think the Bears are going to take there's one of 2 things that happens. I think the Bears take Will Anderson because he's a generational talent. He's a guaranteed draft pick. Or they trade down and they get multiple positions because that first round pick is actually, I think it's one of the more important ones. I don't think it was as important as last year because it was like, I don't know, there wasn't any quarterbacks anyone was really crying for. You could have taken Trayvon or Aiden Hutchinson with 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. I feel like right now the consensus number 1 pick is Will Anderson. I don't see that changing. And then there's also insanely good quarterbacks in the draft. So, and the Bears might not want either. I could see them trading down, getting multiple picks, and some other team fucking badly. They either badly want CJ Stroud or they badly want Will Anderson. Or like technically you could badly want Bryce Young too, but I think people are going to go CJ Stroud over Will Anderson. It's a very QB heavy draft, bro. There's so many good QBs. So Vikings shit on the Bears. Best case scenario for the Bears because then the Texans could still win, right? And then they go on and do it. You gotta love that.
Bills, Pats.
Yeah, Pats actually put up a much better fight than I expected them to.
I know,
but this game didn't matter.
Are they exposing the Bills defense?
Bills didn't give a fuck. Everybody's resting their starters.
Yeah, you think? Okay.
Everybody's resting their starters. Nobody gives a fuck.
Why does Josh Allen play the entire game then?
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Why do you play your starters the entire game?
I thought that was stupid.
Unless it's seeding.
There was probably some seeding here, but I think
there might have been because the Bengals and Bills game got canceled. Maybe there's some seeding going on there.
There was seeding, but I think most teams like Vikings, Bears, like everybody's taking their foot off the gas. Like the Bears took their foot off the gas and so did the Vikings. And it's like, okay, let's move. Whereas you could see Bill Bell a fraud. Tom Brady made Belichick look like a good coach. He's actually a fraud.
If the Bills lost, then they got to face KC and Arrowhead for AFC Championship. Okay. Yeah, so they needed to play.
This just had to be a good game, huh?
Yeah. Jets, Dolphins. Look at this snooze fest right here.
This is a really, really, really bad game.
11.
Really. Tyreek tweeted after. He's like, yeah, that was ugly, but you know what? A dub's a dub. It's a whole lot different without Tua in there. I'll say that. I mean, when everybody's talking about Mike McDaniels being the God coach of the year, and they were so fun to post and talk about, and then Tua goes out. I don't know. Let's just give a lot of respect to Tua, though. Tua got a whole lot of shit. Tua got shit talked so much coming into this season. And now without Tua, this Dolphins team is struggling to put up 11 points. Again, the Jets have a good defense, okay? But the Jets aren't fucking top 3 defense in the league. And they're struggling to put up 11 points. So I think it's just credit to Tua. I think it's credit to Tua that Tua is actually a stud and that team really needs him. And he proved all the haters wrong. Buccaneers, Falcons. Pretty fucked up that the Buccaneers at 8-9 had clinched a playoff spot.
I know, bro.
This game truly didn't matter.
Multiple 9 and 8 teams that aren't even in the playoffs, right?
I mean, like for the Buccaneers, like it truly didn't matter this game at all. It's like we could win this game and it changes nothing, or we could lose this game and it changes nothing against a divisional rival. That's how fucked the NFC South was this year. So Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask got reps. Giovanni Bernard, Keyshawn Vaughn, Devin Tompkins, and Rashad White got reps. Devin Tompkins caught 4. Keyshawn Vaughn, Kyle Rudolph, Scott Miller, Cade Otton, Lenny Fournette, Giovanni Bernard. Just
Holy
everybody,
shit.
bro. That whole roster got put in. This is like when you put in the special ed kid at the end of a high school game. Let him go get a touchdown. Like, actually. Avery Williams had 12 yards, bro. Who? Cole Pruitt. Bro, get out of here. That's a generated Madden name. That's not a real person. Panthers Saints. Yeah, this game doesn't fucking matter.
Poor. Doesn't even matter. Why? Yeah, I don't
Look
know.
at Sam Darnold. Look how many passing attempts Sam Darnold had. Wait a second. Go back to that.
Oh, shit. Yep.
I think they ran the ball every fucking
15.
play.
That's a Justin Fields stat line. I say this every time.
That's a fucking junior high school quarterback stat
43
line.
43 yards, 2 interceptions.
5 for 15, 43 and 2 interceptions. Jesus.
That's tough.
Texans Colts. We already talked about this, bro, but Lovie Smith just said, all right, you're gonna hire me on. Here's what happened, okay? The Texans bring in Lovie Smith to a dog shit, useless fucking team. They tank as they were supposed to, and then Lovie Smith gets fired. I think this is fucked up. I genuinely believe that the Houston Texans organization used Lovie Smith to tank. They said, we need a scapegoat quarterback, okay? I don't think they ever should have hired Lovie Smith. I got nothing against Lovie Smith. I just don't think he was a very good candidate for head coach. Anyway, could anybody have done anything with this Texans team? No. I don't think fucking Bill Belichick. I don't think you take the best coach of all time, rise him up from his grave, and stick him on the Houston Texans. He does much with that team. Yeah. But let's take a look at Dan Campbell, for example. We brought Dan Campbell on to a floundering, drowning Detroit Lions team. And that first season, you know what we went? We went 3-13 with Dan Campbell. And then the next season, now we're 9-8. Yep. And now what does next season look like? Who knows? But hopefully, I think we go to the playoffs. Lovie Smith's in the same position, and they fire him. I genuinely believe they fired a coach that they believed was subpar as a hiring because they wanted to tank this year so that they could draft a good quarterback, and then they can fire him and they can say it's coach's fault. Coach, you tanked. We don't want you on this team. And they also don't want him coaching the potentially rebuilt Texans. Yeah, they don't.
That's true.
They have a great excuse to fire him because like if they kept Lovie Smith and he did pretty well next year, now you can't fire him. Like the Lions are never going to fire Dan Campbell right now. Right. Yeah. I genuinely believe that's what happened with Lovie Smith.
Do you think he purposely did that 2 point to just say fuck you?
1,000%. He fucked them on purpose here.
Yes.
Because he knew what happened too.
I love it. I fucking love it. Fuck him, dude. I love it.
I guarantee this is what happened. No, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say definitive statements like that because I guarantee I don't know shit. But here's what I believe happened. I believe that when the Texans hired Lovie Smith on, they said, look, we know you don't have a lot to work with here. Just do your best. Let's build a new team chemistry. Let's do this. Let's do that. They sold him on this. The same thing that the Lions sold Dan Campbell on. And then Lovie Smith in these last couple weeks, he realizes he's going to get fired. And now he's like, wow, you fuckers. You gave me nothing. You gave me the weakest, one of the shittiest teams in the NFL to work with. And you expect me to succeed? How? I kept close games with some good teams. I'm working with nothing here, and we still played okay. And now we're going to get to rebuild. We got all these draft picks to rebuild with, so let's rebuild. Except you're going to fire me anyway? Well, fuck you. I'm going to give everything I got against the Indianapolis Colts. We're running Hail Mary on 4th and 20 in the final game of the season. We got nothing to win. And when it's 30-31, I'm pulling out my best play. I'm going for 2. And the minute we catch it, you can see Lovie Smith. There's a highlight of it. After he gets that 2 and he's walking off and the game's over, he's smirking his ass off. It's not like yes, we won. Yeah. He's walking like this. I never
thought of it like how you're saying, how they like hired him kind of to just tank. It's kind of ingenious, I guess. I don't know.
If I'm the GM and I'm a fan of the Texans organization, this is the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
But you are absolutely royally fucking over Lovie Smith. And it's almost like you shouldn't be allowed to do that because you're really ruining this guy.
Because you're like ruining it for his other chances at other coaching opportunities because it makes him look like he's a shit coach. Unless
you're the GM, you invite Lovie Smith over for dinner. You said, I'm going to slide you $5 million under the table. Don't bitch. Don't talk about it. We're going to hire you to suck ass. And at the end of the season, we're going to fire you. Yeah. But if they do that, then Lovie Smith doesn't go for 2 right here. You know? So that's kind of
True,
why I
that's
believe.
true, yeah.
I don't believe that the Texans organization was honest or had a very good parting ways with Lovie Smith. Because if they had treated Lovie Smith well,
But yeah, he wouldn't.
he actually tanks this game.
Yeah.
He does not do that. You don't like. It was 4th and 20, and he's calling. I don't even call the Hail Mary. I don't think most teams call that Hail Mary.
Bro, I wonder if they had a camera on like the GM or the owner during that
Oh,
play.
he's pissed. GM walked
really?
out of the stadium.
Really? There was
Texans GM was in the stadium, and when Lovie Smith was going for 2, he's standing up watching. He's like, "You motherfucker!
Yeah.
You motherfucker!"
No
And then
way.
they get it, and the GM walks out of the stadium.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, he sucks. Everyone's saying he's such a bad coach. That's the point. The Texans never should have hired Lovie Smith. They hired Lovie Smith because he sucks. So they could do poorly this year, get a good draft pick, and then fire him. That's why they hired Lovie Smith.
Cardinals 49ers.
Cardinals Niners. I mean, this is how you imagine a lot of these last week games going, where the Niners, do have something to play for and the Cardinals don't, and it's just a blowout. Yeah, not much to say about this game.
Brock Purdy, solid though. Solid.
But I believe Brock Purdy continues to have the best QBR out of any quarterback in the league since he became a starter. This is a poverty game, so I don't count these stats all that much, but it's still true. That
We're going to get to this later, but the 49ers are one of the teams in the mix of possibly where Aaron Rodgers may venture to. But
that motherfucker's retiring.
But let's say Brock Purdy, let's just say Aaron Rodgers is going to leave and he wants a different team.
Right.
Let's say Brock Purdy, though, makes a deep playoff push, maybe even makes it to the Super Bowl, gets beat by whoever. Is he now replacing G-Rop and Trey Lance? Yeah, is he just...
Oh, Brock Purdy?
Yeah, is he stepping in and just taking the spot?
This is a really shitty scenario for Trey Lance. I don't think it's so much a shitty scenario for Jimmy Garoppolo, who has a huge guaranteed contract. I'm sure Jimmy Garoppolo wants to play to win. I'm sure he cares a lot.
And he could fucking retire and go be a model and fucking do OnlyFans
honestly
if
true.
you wanted, dude.
But yeah, it's different. Like, why do these guys go to the league? A lot of them go because they love the game, but also a lot of them go because it's their career. And once you got your career money locked up, it's a whole different ballgame. Trey Lance does not have that.
Right.
Jimmy Garoppolo does. So I think the person who's really in a shitty scenario here is Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And great for Brock Purdy to come out here and have an opportunity and take advantage of it. But I think you almost are at a position where you trade one of them. In the long run, I see Brock Purdy stays with the Niners for a long time. So is Jimmy G, and Trey Lance goes somewhere
they're
else.
saying Jimmy's a free agent.
Next year? Oh my God, because he's on a 1 year.
Jimmy a free agent.
They only gave Jimmy a 1 year.
Damn.
Well, then the better question is, do the Niners try to re-sign Jimmy, or do they go balls deep on Brock Purdy?
Or Aaron Rodgers.
I think Aaron Rodgers retires. Okay. It's not even in my wheelhouse. I think Aaron Rodgers is done.
Cowboys Commanders here. You will never go a week without Dak Prescott throwing at least one interception. So if you are a betting man and there's a bet out there over under how many interceptions or if he'll throw an interception, fucking put your mortgage on it, because Dak Prescott will literally throw at least one interception every fucking game, if not two.
I didn't watch this game. Holy shit, the Cowboys did horrible.
Got clapped. But it also might be one of those things where, it kind of looks like Dak played the whole game here.
Pitiful.
Fuck, dude. What is going on here with the Cowboys?
Pitiful. That is horrible.
Total yards, 182 total yards. Sam Howell, who even is that? Not sure, but...
He's out of North Carolina, I think.
Seahawks, Rams.
Fuck this game.
Seahawks.
Fuck this game. Dude, Rams, Seahawks. The Rams had him too. It was like 16-3. Or no. It's 13-7. It's 13-7 Rams.
Yeah, right here. Score.
And I was like, oh my God. They actually could do it. Or 13-6, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they lost in overtime.
Dude, it just sucks so bad. And we actually talked about this scenario. We're like, what if the Seahawks beat the Rams and then the Lions fucking beat the Packers just to chap the Packers whole
That's
season?
what I was saying. And I tweeted it out. I said the Lions really just kicked the Packers out of the playoffs for no fucking reason. Obviously, yes, it's nice to have a winning season and beat the Packers, but we're not doing anything with the win.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, I don't think it really changes anything, whereas the Packers have a chance to go win a Super Bowl if they win that game. But I'll tell you this, if you don't beat the Lions in the regular season to go to the playoffs, then you don't have a chance in the playoffs.
Right.
But yeah, too bad. I had all my faith in Baker. He didn't come through for me. Giants, Eagles. Kenny Galladay finally earning his $72 million.
Yeah.
They paid Kenny Galladay $72 million per touchdown this season. This is Kenny Galladay's first touchdown. Although that touchdown was sick as fuck. That reminded me of Kenny Galladay on the Lions. I don't know where it's been, but the Eagles almost lost to Davis Webb. They just
I remember they sat their whole starting lineup, and actually they almost beat the Eagles.
It's the last week. I don't want to take anything into account. This doesn't make me feel worse about the Eagles. It doesn't make me think the Eagles aren't going to make it through the playoffs. Broncos making a little late season push. Nathaniel Hackett's out. I will say, ever since Nathaniel Hackett's out, Broncos have looked a lot better.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, dude. what has he been gone in the last 2 games? 3 games?
Last 3 games.
Okay.
And they've looked a lot better. I mean, they put up a really good
points.
fight against the Chiefs. They beat the Chargers here. It is just week 18 and week 1 are the same in my brain for evaluating talent in the sense that it doesn't mean anything. Like week 1, everyone overreacts like crazy.
Yeah.
Week 18, it's so hard to tell how much these teams actually give a fuck. Like
Right.
if you clinch the
Sitting
playoff,
starters,
sitting starters. So I'm not going to say too much, but I think the Broncos are they're not rock bottom, but they're near the bottom. So I think the next season can only go up.
Right.
I think they will have a better season next year. It's not really crazy call. And then our amazing Lions-Packers game. Dan Campbell getting praised for his massive balls. The Lions end the season with a winning record. We don't make the playoffs, but holy shit, we got a whole lot of momentum.
When was the last time we won this or ended the season with a winning record?
2016.
2016.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Damn. But
It's
I
been
mean,
a
like you
while.
said, it really doesn't matter that the Lions beat the Packers, but also, like you just said, I think it kind of does matter just for the morale of the team, the fans. Next year is gonna it's looking up. I mean, also it does put some weight on the Lions, though. We're gonna be expecting a lot.
Yeah.
You know, if we have a losing season next year, the amount of people that are gonna be so livid.
That'll be
oh my
literally
gosh.
depressing. Literally depressing.
It's
But yeah, I
gonna
mean, this is so awesome for the Lions fan base right now. The culture is shifted. We're on the Dan Campbell bandwagon. We beat the Packers to close out the season. We won 6 out of the last 7 games to close out the season.
Fucked them, dude.
Played some great football. We've got some studs who are going to continue to develop. We have a lot of that's what's amazing about our team. We have so many young, good players.
Yes.
We have 2 more first-round draft picks this season. We've got Aiden Hutchinson developing. Jeff Okudah has found his stride.
Jamal Williams is nasty.
Yeah,
right
Jamal
now.
Williams, DeAndre
Swift.
Swift.
Is good, such a good duo.
Panay Sewell up front on the
Jared
line.
Goff looking amazing. At
Jared
the end
Goff
of the
looks
season.
great. Jared Goff's been one of the best quarterbacks
We were
in the
saying
league.
we need to get a quarterback, and now it's like we don't want to get a quarterback. We
Absolutely.
need to get some defensive players.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say it every time we talk about the Lions. I've been filling out my Jared Goff apology form for the last fucking 7 weeks. Jared Goff has looked great. Everything I said about him, I've been completely wrong. I look like an asshat, and I will just take and eat that L because I am fully riding with Jared Goff. He's looked awesome. And I'm sad that I ever doubted him. I'm sad I never believed in him, but I do now.